Many people believe medieval wars were simple and brutal. But one rivalry quietly reshaped world history forever, and the truth behind Richard and Saladin will shock you deeply today. Two leaders never met face to face, yet their decisions changed Europe, the Middle East, and religious conflict forever, creating legends, myths, and lessons still shaping modern leadership and warfare. This rivalry hides three powerful truths about time, honor, and restraint, and each revelation changes how we understand victory, power, and why some wars never truly end. Let me show you exactly how this happened. Beginning in an age where faith ruled politics, swords drew borders, and rulers carried the hopes of entire civilizations. In the late 12th century, Jerusalem stood at the center of the known world, sacred to Christians, Muslims, and Jews, and controlling it meant power, pride, trade, and divine favor. When Saladin retook Jerusalem in 1187, Europe was stunned, churches rang alarms, and rulers across kingdoms called for holy war to reclaim the city at any cost. This moment mattered deeply because religion shaped identity, and losing Jerusalem felt like losing honor, purpose, and divine approval across Christian Europe. Kings, nobles, and knights were willing to risk everything on distant deserts they barely understood, driven by faith, fear, and promises of eternal reward. Into this fire marched Richard the Lionheart, King of England, famous for strength, courage, and fierce battlefield skill, admired by soldiers and feared by enemies everywhere. Sources suggest Richard loved battle more than ruling, preferring armor to crowns and campfires to courts, making him inspiring to troops yet dangerously impulsive. Opposite him stood Saladin, Sultan of Egypt and Syria, calm, disciplined, patient, and strategic, a leader who united divided Muslim lands through respect rather than fear. Unlike many rulers, Saladin reportedly valued mercy, reputation, and unity, understanding loyalty lasted longer than terror, an idea rare but incredibly powerful in medieval warfare. Now here's where things get really interesting. Because the first major revelation is not about swords or courage, but numbers, supply lines, and geography. Richard arrived with roughly 17,000 troops, including armored knights, archers, templars, and hospitallers, forming one of the strongest crusader armies ever assembled. Saladin, however, commanded forces reportedly double in size, spread across familiar land, supplied locally, able to retreat, regroup, and strike again without collapsing. Imagine fighting at home while your enemy crosses oceans, deserts, and mountains, stretching food lines thin, where every loss hurts them twice as much. This advantage shaped everything Saladin did, allowing patience instead of panic, pressure instead of reckless charges, and survival instead of dramatic but risky victories. Many commanders failed to understand this quiet strength, mistaking restraint for weakness and patience for fear, which would prove a costly misunderstanding. At the Battle of Arsuf in 1191, Richard shocked everyone by showing discipline, holding his knights back until the exact moment for attack. Then he launched a devastating charge that smashed through Saladin's lines, proving Richard's tactical brilliance and restoring Crusader confidence after months of struggle. It was a rare, clear victory in a brutal campaign, and songs quickly spread across Europe, praising Richard as an unstoppable warrior king. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this, because that victory did not bring Richard any closer to Jerusalem. Saladin refused another direct battle, choosing instead to harass supply lines, burn resources, and force long marches across harsh terrain. This strategy slowly drained Crusader strength, without risking everything in one fight, turning time itself into Saladin's most powerful weapon. Richard's army grew tired, poorer, and weaker with each passing month, while Europe argued, delayed reinforcements, and struggled to support distant wars. Morale dropped as soldiers realized victory was not guaranteed, and the road to Jerusalem felt longer with every step forward. Now comes the second major revelation, because behind brutal fighting existed something almost unbelievable between these two legendary enemies. There was unexpected respect, communication, and even kindness, which shocked contemporaries and confused allies on both sides. According to sources, Richard and Saladin exchanged letters during the war, discussing honor, prisoners, and terms with surprising civility. They reportedly sent gifts and medical assistance to one another, including doctors, supplies, and gestures meant to preserve dignity. Saladin even sent fruit and snow to cool Richard's fever, an act that stunned observers across religious divides. Courtesy during holy war seemed impossible, Yet both leaders understood reputation traveled faster than armies across borders and generations. Stories shaped loyalty, fear, and legend, influencing how future rulers and people remembered power and leadership. Honor became a weapon, shaping behavior, decisions, and restraint, proving strength alone never controls hearts or history for long. For modern viewers, this feels like image management, where leaders balance force with mercy to shape narratives that outlast battlefield victories. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all, because neither man truly wanted total destruction. Even while commanding armies killing thousands, restraint mattered more than complete annihilation of the enemy. The ultimate prize was Jerusalem. Yet Richard reportedly feared attacking it directly, knowing supply collapse and massacre would follow. Everything he had gained could be lost in days, turning victory into disaster before reaching the holy city. Saladin preferred negotiation over endless bloodshed, understanding holding Jerusalem mattered more than revenge or pride. Unity within Muslim lands remained fragile, and prolonged war risked tearing alliances apart. This tension built slowly, pulling both leaders toward a final decision neither truly wanted to make. It all came to a head near the coastal city of Jaffa. Here, fierce fighting erupted once more, testing patience, strength, and resolve on both sides. But exhaustion ruled the battlefield, forcing leaders to confront reality rather than dreams of total victory. Both sides were drained of men, money, and hope, making continued war dangerous, pointless, and likely to destroy everything already fought for. Leaders chose restraint over annihilation, understanding survival and stability mattered more than dramatic final battles. The result was the Treaty of Jaffa in 1192, ending the Third Crusade without conquest or total defeat. Christian pilgrims were allowed access to Jerusalem, while the city remained under Muslim control. This agreement shocked many, because wars of faith rarely ended with compromise. Here is the twist that changes everything, because this epic rivalry ended not with domination, but recognition and restraint. Richard and Saladin accepted limits, something history often forgets when celebrating heroes and villains. So what does this mean for us today, living far from Crusader castles yet surrounded by conflicts, driven by belief and pride? Wars of ideology rarely end cleanly, often freezing problems for future generations to inherit and reopen. This story teaches patience, timing, and restraint, showing raw strength fails without planning, unity, and moral authority. History later turned both men into myths, smoothing rough edges and hiding uncomfortable truths beneath legend. Richard returned home only to face captivity, ransom, and political chaos, proving battlefield glory does not guarantee peace. His kingdom struggled while songs praised victories that changed little at home. Saladin died shortly after the crusade, reportedly leaving little wealth behind. He was remembered not for riches, but for leadership, restraint, and honor across cultures. Neither man achieved total victory, yet both gained lasting fame through choices that limited destruction. Legacy, it turns out, depends as much on battles avoided as battles fought. Plot twist: the greatest rivalry in history was not about hatred, but balance between power and restraint. Two enemies limited destruction, preserved sacred space, and chose survival over endless bloodshed. This reframes the opening shock, because the rivalry that seemed endless actually ended with restraint and access. History remembers them not only for fighting, but for knowing when to stop. If this opened your eyes to history beyond simple heroes and villains, many more stories hide beneath popular myths. Each one carries lessons still relevant to modern leadership, conflict, and decision-making. Next time, we can uncover another clash where patience defeated power and strategy outlasted fury. These forgotten lessons still whisper across centuries, waiting for those willing to listen. To recap, Richard mastered battlefield shock, Saladin mastered long strategy, and both mastered image. Their rivalry shaped Crusader states, the Ayyubid Sultanate, and centuries of storytelling across East and West. If you enjoyed this cinematic, fact-based journey, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Your support helps bring deeper history stories to a global audience. I want to hear from you, so comment below who you believe was the greater leader and why. Your thoughts guide future videos and often inspire entire episodes. This channel grows through discussion, curiosity, and respectful debate. Like, subscribe, and share if you value history told with depth and honesty. Thank you for watching and staying until the end. Remember, the past is not dead. It whispers lessons into the present for those willing to listen carefully. History rewards patience, curiosity, and humility.
And the greatest victories are not always won with swords. Sometimes they are won by restraint.
Like, subscribe, share,